Hey guys, it's Doc, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Multi Sluice and a change that I'm making coming up for 2018, or right now actually, so hold on. Hey guys, it's Doc, and one of the things I'm going to do this year, the Multi Sluice has flow regulators inside of it, and the last flow regulator, which is the little plug that we introduced last year, which your pump, you can order this with a pump kit. It's an 1100 GPH pump. If you hook the hose up like normal, like this, just hook it up normal, it's going to run technically at 1100 GPH. Well, then what you can do is you can insert this restrictor, which is what you do for your washer mat. Now you've dropped it down to about 800, 900 GPH. Well, we also have a little plug that you have too. But we were running this at about 1/4 of an inch size, and I found it's just way too hard to balance out the mat. It's not enough GPH. It takes forever to get that mat to balance out and that water flow to balance out. So what I'm telling everybody to do is drill this out, take your 1/4 inch, it's just over 1/4 I think, take your 1/4 inch hole and actually make it a 3/8. So we're going to start doing that now. I got to go to the shop. This is the girls and I are out here doing this, but Monday morning we're going to go out and I'm going to have them re-drill all these at the shop to 3/8 of an inch. Much better, much easier to handle. So all I do is I just put this, I take this, I put my flow regulator plug in it, now 3/8. I stick it into my unit, I put my hose back on, and I put my washer mat. Now this is what I call the Superfine mode. This is for those, if you got a bunch of black sands that's got like 100 to 300 mesh gold in it, this is where you can classify to 50 mesh or even classify to 100 mesh. You can drop your pitch down depending on your classification size and your target gold size. But like I classified only to 20 mesh. So I'm going to classify to 20 mesh. I'm going to put this in and I'm dropping this down to about 9 degrees. If you want to classify to 50 mesh, maybe 8 degrees. If you want to classify to 100 mesh, maybe you go down to 6 or 7 degrees. You'll play with it. Basically, you want to see your mat not plugging up. You want some exchange in there. That's really what you want. So I'm going to add a little bit of gold to these fines that I've got in here. It's mostly 100 and 200 mesh gold. There's a few pieces of 50 mesh, and let's see what happens when I run it through. But I want to show you this new flow with that new plug on it. So let me go ahead and just hook it up. Make sure I don't get splashed here. I'm too pretty to get wet. Let me grab my camera. Right, so that's what it looks like right now with the flow system on it. That's running probably about, I'd say roughly 600, 700 GPH now. But here's what I really want you to see. Look how smooth that mat is. The water flow is deep enough that you can get it even across it. Watching this, I'm actually seeing my material dance around in here. And then my test is, I'm going to grab a little handful of this. I'm just going to set some of this in here and run it. And now what I want to do is you can see it work it down. Now when you do this mode, obviously, especially if you're only classifying to 20 mesh, you're going to want to feed it just a little bit slower than normal. But you can see how it worked down. It went from almost completely full down to work down. Now, this has to do with incremental processing. If you haven't watched the incremental processing video, you're not too bright. Sorry. You need to watch incremental processing. Because what's going to happen is these riffles are going to fill up first, then it's going to move down, these are going to fill up, and it takes time for processing to happen. Your incremental processing rate determines your sluice length. So watch what happens here. Now maybe I could go a little bit faster on this. Now, one thing that you'll notice is that while I'm feeding this, I'm feeding it twice as slow as I normally do. All right, so I'm slowing down my feed rate by half. because I've got a real calm sluice in here and it's taken a while to exchange out and work out. You'll be able to see the mats turn a little bit blonde now as I start to feed it. And I don't want to beat my incremental processing level. So you can see I'm allowing it while I'm feeding it, I'm allowing it time to work. If I didn't, watch what happens when I overfeed it. That's what it looks like when I overfeed it. All my riffles are completely blonde. So when I'm doing this super fine gold stage, what I want to do is I want to do a slow, steady feed on it. Now apparently there was some jet dry in here somewhere because I got bubbles coming up, which I hate. Alright guys, I'm done, so I'm going to shut it off. Now I do want to point out that even though I probably slowed down my feed rate roughly by 50%, I had this tub that was probably about this full, so I'm close to a gallon of material that I classified to 20 mesh, and it only took me about, still only took me about 7-8 minutes to do it, even though I was feeding it slow. The key here is I took this whole thing, I took almost a gallon of these, a lot of black sand concentrates, and I've worked it down, and I'm guessing I'll have about 4 or 5 tablespoons in 7 minutes. So when I say it's slower, it's still super fast. But I want to show you what it looks like. Let me drain some of the water. Somehow jet dry got in here, I think because of some paint. Oh, here's why. Because the gold I added, some of that gold I added in here had jet dry in it. That's why I'm bubbling up. Stupid. So let me just tilt it. Right there. Fine gold in there. Look at that right there. Fine gold right there. There's fine gold up in that corner. Piece of mercury it looks like up in there. But I'm seeing, like right there. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to take some pictures of it and blow it up too, but here you can see that that's actually full of black sand. That ridge is actually full of black sand right there. Moderate black sand, moderate and less black sand in here. So I might even pitch this up 1 more degrees. But I don't know, we'll see. Alright, so this is what I got down to. This is probably about 4 tablespoons. So I took almost a gallon of concentrates in roughly 7 minutes, got it down to 4 tablespoons. Now I'm just going to pan it off real quick and see what gold is in there. But there she is. That's using that new method. And there's a few pieces I would say are 50 or above up here. And then the rest are that 100 to 400 mesh stuff right there. Get a little bit tighter for you. Right there. That's pretty cool there. Anyways guys, that's that new the new change I'm making for the multi sluice. If you have a multi sluice, just get a 3/8 inch drill bit, drill it out, as of Monday, this Monday, we're going to start shipping them out with that change on it. So if you need one, if you have a multi sluice, just contact us. We'll get you one, no problem. Thanks, Doc.